Hey, it's Josh Ellsworth with Stahls, and I get the question a lot of times on my videos or when I'm traveling out at a trade show convention is, what should I invest in? How do I get started? What do I need to be able to make a successful t-shirt printing business? And I want to start with the best possible equipment because we are serious about this. And so recently I had the opportunity to do our 21 looks heat printing series where I had 21 assorted garments, a huge variety of different items, some of which you see behind me here, from jackets to hats to t-shirts, different finishes and styles and materials that all appealed to different markets. And what that gave me the opportunity to do is I was trying to conquer those items which were sent to me and said, hey, teach our viewership how to print these items accurately. It allowed me to start to think about what tools, what equipment I'm going to need for the job. And so what I did throughout that series, I tried to keep the equipment assortment as tight as possible, saying, hey, if I were just starting a business and I was on a budget, but I needed all of the equipment to be able to decorate for these markets, what would I need? So I challenged myself to assemble a list of all of the products that were used throughout that entire series, which you can look back at and watch some of those videos or the ones that have yet to be published, and said, that's what I want to recommend to a decorator because these are the tools that they really need to be successful in heat printing. So I have all of those spread out, some of which are behind me, and I want to walk you through step by step the equipment that you need, the accessories that you need, that I think you need to be successful in heat printing. So these are my picks, and we're going to start back at one of my favorite heat presses. It's actually the one I own from home as well. It's the Hotronix 16x20 autoclam. Let's take a look at that machine. Now, a heat press, of course, is a must-have, and getting the right heat press for your t-shirt printing or athletic printing business is critically important. Let's start with the basics. This is a 16 by 20 inch platen. That means it's 16 inches wide by 20 inches long, and that's the print area on the garments that you're going to be able to create in your business, the actual graphic that's going to go on them. I always recommend, if you can afford it, go with the largest heat press you can afford, and 16 by 20 is going to be that sweet spot, that largest press for most businesses. So always go 16 by 20. Now, I've outfitted this heat press. I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about the press, but I've outfitted it with some accessories that I want you to take note of. Number one is we have it on a caddy stand. Now, this is a freestanding stand that allows you to create a cantilever design with this press, meaning it's open underneath. I think being able to split an item open and load it onto the press is of critical importance to be able to print more items. So for me, it's a must-have to have a stand or a counter stand with your machine. I prefer the freestanding stand because it can be height adjustable. Also, you can put tables and trays around it to lay out your items, and I feel like it's just more flexible with how you can work the machine. I own this exact setup. The other accessory that I've added to this machine that I think is critically important is what we call a quick slip pad protector. It's just this little cover. It's kind of like an ironing board cover that goes over the bottom of your press, and this is going to protect this blue pad on the press, but it's also going to make it a lot easier to slide garments on and off over time. As the pad protector wears down, you just replace that part instead of a much more expensive pad on the machine. Now, you may wonder, how did I arrive at this exact press? I mean, Stahls manufactures and sells so many different heat presses. I love the Fusion press, and I know a lot of you love that press. It has its own advantages, but the reason I arrived at the autoclam is I love the single step operation of it. And so it fits into a lot of tight spaces, doesn't need room to swing away. You can just push it against the wall or into a corner, and all you literally have to do is lock the heat press down. It counts down to 0, and it automatically opens for you. Now, the other key thing about this press that it has is it measures time, temperature, and pressure accurately. So you're seeing the 0 pressure on the screen right now. That's why the press doesn't automatically open. There's no pressure being applied. And so most machines that we sell will measure time and temperature, but not a whole lot will measure temperature out there in the industry other than Stahls machines. And this has a little digit down in the bottom right-hand corner where you can just adjust your pressure, and so I'm increasing the pressure to add more pressure to it. Now when I lock the press down, it will read out that I'm a 7. Okay, so that's a firm pressure. It runs from a scale of 1 to 9. I need to have at least a 1 pressure for a light pressure, and that pressure is key because that gives you accuracy when printing. You can know for a fact as it automatically opens, that you're following the instructions to a T. The heat press is nothing more than a really high-end oven, and your transfer is your cake or your frozen pizza. It will give you the instructions on what to set the heat press for. But having an accurate heat press that can be loaded properly and your item can be flat is of critical importance. Okay, so 16 by 20 press on a stand or a counter stand. I prefer the full stand, as well as with the quick slip pad protector. That's what we have so far. Now, as you watch a lot of our videos, you'll see that you can't fit every item over this 16 by 20 surface. And so we've designed these presses with interchangeable attachments that where you can unlatch a lever on the side, that's all I did, and these easily pull out. And so that's a big advantage for heat press operators, is that you can swap this attachment to be able to fit a smaller size. And so in this video series, I've used two optional platens, and these are the ones I recommend. A 6 by 10 inch platen. It can be loaded portrait or landscape, it doesn't matter. You can load it either way and lock it into place, but that's going to be able to load smaller items like backpacks and bags and even onesies and just some smaller shapes to be able to hit a print location. Even a left chest like I have here with a logo so the buttons fall over the edge. I love this 6 by 10 platen. Highly recommend you get that one out of the gate when you invest in your heat press. It will let you get those smaller items flat. One more size of platen. I'm only going to recommend two platens to get you started, and that's an 11 by 15 inch. This 11 by 15 inch is particularly beneficial when it's loaded this way. So you can do slimmer cut lady shirts, you can do youth t-shirts, as well as when you load it and rotate it to be able to do a front of like a hooded sweatshirt, so the pockets and the drawstrings and the eyelets, everything hangs off, because you want to have completely flat printing surface so that pressure really works for you. Okay, so two platens in the heat press, the 6 by 10 inch and the 11 by 15 inch. You'll notice here that I have all the quick slip covers on all the platens, so just make sure that you get those with your platens when you're starting out. It makes it easier to load all of them. You can always remove it if your item's sliding off. You want it to hold a little better. You'll see that in some of our videos as well where I remove that. Now, in addition to the platens, and I'm going to load the 16 by 20 back on for a moment here, I recommend a heat press pillow pack. Okay? So heat press pillows are a little bit different. I have 4 of the 5 that come in the pack here with me. I recommend all 5. It comes in a pack over at Stahls.com. This one's really nice. It's the leg and sleeve pillow. It's about 5 by 18 inches. That will give you the opportunity to slide this inside of a sleeve to be able to print it, or inside of a pant leg, or any long slender item that needs printing. You're not able to just kind of split the sleeve over this particular style of press. I don't want to confuse you, but that's one of the advantages of our Fusion series of presses, is you can do sleeves and pant legs. There's a platen that you can change out. But if you're just getting started, I choose the benefits of the clam over the Fusion and just accommodate sleeves and legs with a pillow. Now, you need more pillows than just this. You'll see me use the 16 by 20, or it's a little bit larger than a 16 by 20, but the oversized one a lot that fits the full area of the platen. The reason I love this is if you're pressing like an item where you just can't get the seam to fall off of the edge appropriately to be able to hit the print area. Sometimes your print is just too close to the seam. This is nice because the seam will actually sink down into the pillow. So you'll load your item with the pillow on top of your platen. The seams sink right down into the pillow, and for any medium pressure application or less, light or medium pressure, you can use a heat press pillow without worry. So heat transfer vinyl, any of the dimensional products that we sell, any of the print cut, CAD prints, digital transfers, a lot of different transfers sold from Stahls can be used with the pillow. And so I recommend getting all the sizes, because of course you want ones that'll match your different youth garments that we talked about, ladies garments, onesies, etc. These are great little tools. They're inexpensive. I use them all of the time, and they last for a while. Now, of course, no heat press investment is good unless you protect the upper heater. You'll be cleaning it a lot, and so cover sheets are really important. I like craft paper. The reason I like craft paper is, number one, it's a little bit easier to hold for me, and it holds a little more rigid for just laying out. Sometimes I'm working with one hand, and I can manipulate the craft paper a little better than the non-stick cover sheet that kind of wants to bend easier. Also, it's sold in a pack. So you get 25 sheets of this in a pack. and it's very reusable. I use these hundreds of times each, so it's going to go a long way as well. Protect your heat press investment, and it also leaves a matte finish. If it ever applies directly on top of your print, it won't like gloss it up and make it look cheaper, in my opinion. It'll keep that nice matte finish to it. So recommend a pack of craft paper. So as far as the heat press investment goes, that's it. Now there's other pieces we're going to add to this because I recommend a cap press, a hat press in your business. We're going to take you up there here in a second, but let me review. 16 by 20 Hotronix auto clam on a heat press caddy stand with a quick slip pad protector. We've added the 6 by 10 inch platen, which comes with the quick slip pad protector already. We've added the 11 by 15 inch platen, which will need to add the pad protector. We've added a heat press pillow pack and a pack of craft paper cover sheets. That's what you need to get started from this point of view for printing t-shirts, apparel, jackets, those sort of items. Now I want to show you something that I'm going to highly recommend you start with when you invest in your heat press as well. That's our 360 IQ hat press. Let's take a look. So this is the Hotronix 360 IQ hat heat press. I like this press for a couple reasons. Of course, you can add a whole category to your business of headwear, which includes structured, unstructured, and beanies, and be able to print it worry-free accurately. The reason you're able to do that is because this heat press actually heats from the top and from underneath the hat. Hat presses of old and other hat presses that are out there on the market, when you're printing the hats, they tend to want to scorch them or leave a crease, so it hasn't been very dependable for printing quality headwear. And here at Stahls, we're all about allowing you to produce items that are high quality and equipping you to do that. So this 360 IQ, it heats your hat from underneath. It has all of the functionality and more of the control board that we looked at on the auto clam. So that means time, temperature, and pressure, including the pressure adjustment on top of the machine. So you're able to print hats without worry, and you're able to print dimensional logos on top of hats. So things that look like they're embroidered, liquid embroidery as we like to call it, which is our flex style, as well as any other types of patches, including leather. So lots of opportunity here, but it's bigger than just hats. And that's one of the real key reasons why I think you should start with this machine with your 16 by 20 heat press investment, is because it's a 2.5 inch print area tall on this machine, and you have a pretty wide area, more than you would ever want. You can print those same logos, those embroidered patches, which are so popular right now, leather, which is equally popular, and flex style, which is growing in popularity. You can print all of that onto apparel as well by loading it in here. So left chest logos on vests, polos, jackets, logos on shorts, cuff logos for branding. It's just going to elevate your game and what you can do for being able to print those items accurately. Now, this hat press does come with the pads that you need to achieve accurate application, kind of like another style of cover sheet, but specifically for those dimensional logos and this press. But I would recommend you add a thermal tape dispenser and 2 rolls of thermal tape. I have one here and it kind of slides. You can actually fit 2 rolls on here at the same time, because you're going to use this a lot. It's a heat resistant tape to be able to hold your logos in place as you place them on the table. When you're decorating apparel items, you'll place your logo out on the table, tape it into place, and then move it over to the hat press to apply. You want to hold those logos in place as you're moving the item, because it gets very hard to line up that item on the press. Hats, no big deal, but left chest on a polo, kind of challenging, and so the thermal tape comes in handy for all of those applications. So with the hat press, with the heat press, with the accessories I've talked to you about today, you should be able to be very successful in your heat printing business. There's not an item out there that you shouldn't be able to accommodate with this combination of equipment and the accessories that I've talked to you about today. And best off, when you look at all of the products that I've talked about, this is the top of the line equipment. You won't want for more. You're looking at an investment of $4,000 or less, right? We're going to flash that package up on the screen right now. I'm calling this our 21 looks package. It's Josh's pick, right? These are the items that I recommend for you in your business. I've been doing heat applied decoration for videos and for my own side hustle for nearly 20 years now. And so trust me, I've tried some things that haven't worked. This is a package that is going to work for your business. You can get it all for under $4,000. Okay, one more thing. as you're thinking about that investment that I want you to consider, and that is a vinyl cutter investment for your business. You can order all of the logos pre-done from Stahls, pre-done from Transfer Express, and just heat apply them. I think that's the best way to get started, so you can spend a lot of your time and energy on marketing and sales and your website and your social media. You don't want to be cutting and weeding too much, but at some point you'll get to the time when you want to bring vinyl cutting in-house because you want to do 6 pieces or 12 pieces. We have professional grade vinyl cutter packages that are also available to you. I like the GraphTech 7000 machine. The GraphTech CE 7000 machine, in my opinion, is the best quality cutter that's out there on the market. I personally own the CE 6000, which was 2 generations before that. It's been a very dependable unit. I've owned it for nearly 5 years without any issue. The 7000, I think, is an awesome machine for what it does. It's a 24-inch wide vinyl cutter that can not only do the heat transfer vinyl product for you, but it can allow you to get into pressure-sensitive sign vinyl. It'll allow you to do hard goods and other window decals and opportunities for your business. So you can get into one of those for less than $2,000, and we're flashing the package on the screen now, so you can see at this moment in time when this video is being produced, these are your choices. As always, our videos stay out there sometimes for 5 or 10 years and they get lots of views after the fact, so make sure you check the latest prices and the latest equipment. But as of this moment, early 2021, this is the best that's out there for t-shirt printers available from Stahls. Hopefully this helps you in growing your business. Make sure you like and subscribe. Like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get educational videos on how to put this equipment in use in your business to be successful in heat printing. Thanks for watching.